Paul Teutul Senior has long been a mainstay in the American media and craftsman industries, well known for his work on reality television and creating custom motorbikes. Known for his part in the popular reality TV program American Chopper, Paul Senior rose to fame because of his compassionate nature and unshakable commitment to his work. However, Paul Senior's career has not been without major failures and disappointments. Even with his early triumphs and the notoriety he received, Paul Teutul Senior's downfall story is a complicated tapestry made up of economic setbacks, personal disputes, and the necessity to preserve one's reputation in a field that is becoming more and more competitive. Paul Teutul Senior was born into a family that was passionate in building motorcycles. After his father, Peter Teutul, established Orange County Choppers in 1999, Paul Senior took over and led the business to prosperity. American Chopper's 2003 debut helped OCC achieve widespread reputation under his direction. The program chronicled OCC's day-to-day activities while showcasing the complex process of creating bespoke bikes. Paul Senior was an interesting and even divisive presence on television because of his vivacious personality, which was defined by his strong work ethic and frequently sarcastic attitude. American Chopper's early years were characterized by quick success. The show attracted millions of viewers and became a ratings powerhouse, helping OCC become a profitable enterprise. Audiences responded favorably to Paul Senior's vision and dedication to fine manufacturing, and the brand became synonymous with luxury, customized motorbikes. The event also emphasized the relationship between Paul Senior and his son, Paul Teutul Jr., who joined OCC and contributed his own distinct taste to the company. At first, their relationship seemed to be a healthy blend of young creativity and fatherly guidance, indicating that the family business would have a bright future. But behind the surface were raging disputes. The audience only knew a portion of the numerous unspoken issues in Paul Senior and Paul Jr.'s relationship. As Paul Jr. grew more involved in the business, his outlook and mindset began to diverge from his father's traditional methods. Paul Jr. sought to modernize the company by introducing new marketing strategies and diversifying the product range, but Paul Senior was determined to continue using the tried-and-true ways. Their pre-existing business disputes were made worse by the pressures of running a well-known firm and keeping to the strict schedule needed for the television show. Tensions between the father and son grew over time, leading to frequent disputes that were periodically featured on the show. Their personal relationship was difficult, and public arguments about artistic control, commercial decisions, and OCC's direction began to affect the company's operations and image. Viewers witnessed what had formerly been perceived as a peaceful family company disintegrate as the once captivating dynamic began to show symptoms of weakening. One of the major causes of Paul Senior's downfall was his inability to adapt to the shifting business landscape. As the custom motorcycle market became increasingly competitive, OCC faced increasing pressure to improve and expand its product line. While Paul Jr. was eager to update the brand and pursue new chances, Paul Senior was hesitant to abandon the traditional craftsmanship that had initially made OCC viable. This unwillingness to change made it harder for the company to stay relevant in a market that was rapidly evolving as a result of changing consumer preferences and continuous technological advancements. Financial mismanagement was a major factor in the collapse of Paul Senior and OCC. The company struggled with mounting debt and operational costs despite its early success. The costly maintenance of a television program and the ostentatious cost of custom constructions put a strain on the company's budget. Additionally, the public arguments between Paul Senior and Paul Jr. began to erode customer confidence, which led to a decline in sales and a damaged image. Due to the financial strain, OCC found it more difficult to continue operating, which led to a number of business issues that gradually harmed the company. The fact that their differences were made public also contributed to Paul Senior's downfall. However, viewers and potential consumers started to avoid reality television, which by its very nature thrives on drama and conflict. As the disputes between Paul Senior and Paul Jr. grew too obvious and personal, the truth that first drew viewers was replaced with a feeling of disorder, which made it harder for OCC to hold on to its loyal following. OCC found it difficult to keep up a positive public perception as the company's inventiveness and craftsmanship were overshadowed by the ongoing portrayal of internal conflict. Additionally, when the demands of managing a high-stakes company became more apparent, Paul Senior's leadership style was examined. His reputation as a strict and occasionally crazy boss resulted in a toxic workplace, low morale, and a high turnover rate. OCC's capacity to produce outstanding products was severely hampered by the departure of seasoned workers who were essential to preserving the caliber and reliability of the business's structures. Together, these internal problems created an atmosphere that made managing the business more challenging. In the end, Paul Senior and Paul Jr.'s business partnership ended as a result of their relationship breaking down. The departure of Paul Jr. in 2010 to launch his own business, Paul Jr. Designs, marked a dramatic shift for OCC and its members. Supporters on both sides took sides in the public fight, dividing the fan base and severing familial ties. OCC's problems were made worse by the hard-to-fill hole created by the departure of Paul Jr., a major factor in the organization's prior success. OCC tried to get back on track after the split by restructuring and rebranding, but their efforts were hampered by the lack of Paul Jr.'s creative involvement and the bad press that persisted from their public altercations. The company's market position steadily declined as a result of its inability to sustain the degree of innovation and quality that first distinguished it. The brand's reputation had been severely harmed by internal strife and financial difficulties. Thus, attempts to launch new goods and services failed. Paul Senior's personal life got caught up with his career failure. In addition to his financial difficulties, his general well-being and interpersonal connections suffered as a result of the ongoing stress and media attention. The emotional burden that had been accumulating over the years was made worse by the loss of his son's partnership, which was not just an economic blow, but also a deeply personal one. Any attempts to improve the company's operations and reputation were further hampered by the negative feedback loop that resulted from personal and professional problems overlapping. The tense relationship and financial difficulties also led to legal problems. The company's image was further damaged and its resources were depleted by a string of court cases stemming from disagreements over financial commitments, commercial practices, and intellectual property. In addition to taking time and money away from OCC's primary business, these legal problems made it more harder for the organization to stabilize and recover. All of these elements combined to cause Paul Senior's career to take a serious turn for the worst, and the Orange County Choppers, which he captained, to dissolve. These issues included personal conflicts, inadequate money management, public disagreements, the passing of significant figures, and legal difficulties. The once thriving company, which was praised for its workmanship and inventiveness, was unable to survive the numerous difficulties that emerged. Its downfall demonstrated how fragile and intertwined personal and professional life can be, since the same things that first made it successful also caused it to fail. After OCC failed, Paul Senior was forced to confront the hard truth of his behavior and the effects it had on his personal and professional lives, because it was not just a financial failure, but also a very private and public family split. The breakup of the partnership with his son was very upsetting. OCC's decline in the custom motorcycle market, which contrasted sharply with the company's previous achievements, demonstrated the significant influence that personal connections, commercial savvy, and leadership can have on a company's course. The downfall of Paul Teutul Senior taught us several lessons, such as the value of adaptability, prudent money management, and striking a cautious balance between personal and professional obligations. His narrative emphasizes how critical it is to adapt to the market, handle money sensibly, and keep cordial working relationships. It serves as a cautionary tale about reality TV's possible drawbacks, as the drama and suspense that make for compelling viewing may also work against the success they aim to achieve. Paul Teutul Senior is still regarded as a respected member of the custom motorcycle world in spite of the major defeats and a damaged reputation. The industry will never be the same because of his contributions to the profession and the emphasis he placed on the production of bespoke motorcycles. Even though his career took a sharp turn for the worst, his legacy as a pioneer in custom motorcycle design continues on in the memory of both fans and prospective builders. In a larger sense, Paul Senior's downfall serves as an analogy for the difficulties other business owners encounter while navigating the intricacies of managing a well-known enterprise. Success is both lauded and dangerous in this unstable climate that is created by the interplay of personal ambition, familial bonds, and public scrutiny. The journey of Paul Teutul Senior emphasizes the need of personal connections, adaptability, and resilience for a business's long-term sustainability. In conclusion, a number of interconnected issues that weakened the basis of Paul Teutul Senior's personal and professional life contributed to his downfall, rather than a single incident or error. His narrative is complex and may be both a cautionary tale and an inspiration, spanning from the early success of American Chopper and OCC to the ensuing internal strife and financial difficulties. Paul Teutul Senior's ascent and decline serve as a reminder that long-term stability and success in both the personal and professional spheres depend on striking a balance between ambition, flexibility, and connections.